competitive advantage. So like, let's come back to kind of hardcore business here. We can all think that open is good and it's more transparency and people feel more involved and engagement scores go up and CEOs have better information and a more accurate sense of what's going on in the organization. But what are the gears that turn all of this thing into business results? I mean, where does this actually, rubber meets the road, build a real competitive advantage for organizations?
When I work with organizations now, they say, oh, we need to have a Facebook strategy. Wrong way to think about this. Oh, we need to go open. Wrong way to think about it. These are all tools. These are all ways to do it. Show me your most important strategic objectives that you have to accomplish. Because frankly, that's all you care about. Those 3 or 5 initiatives, that's all you care about. Now let's look at those and say, how can being open, how can you use these social collaboration tools help you accomplish those goals? Let's explore it. It won't be across all of them, but let's look at your most important goals. How can we add business value on this? How can we create competitive advantage? How can we create value? So I spent an entire chapter just looking at how do you define value. And the problem is it's not always measurable to the nth degree. And I asked the people who are watching this video, listening to this, are you measuring the ROI of this? How do you think about it? 80% of everything that you do inside an organization does not have a direct ROI, but you do it because you believe there's value. The CMO of American Express had a wonderful saying, we tend to overvalue the things we can measure, but undervalue the things we cannot. So how do you measure a relationship in your organization? Most companies don't do a very good job of that. And so therefore they don't invest in it. They do it by gut. But you know the value of being able to go see somebody in person, to be able to shake that hand, to be able to write that personal note. Now with these technologies, can you develop those relationships at much lower cost and with greater depth than you ever could before? Therefore, the investment's so little in cost and time, tremendous impact on the other side. And the organizations who know how to leverage that will have a huge advantage.
And it seems to me it just allows you to bring so much more wisdom to any issue.
Yes.
One of the things, Charlene, is a personal example. A few years back, you'll remember that Microsoft, they were late to bring out, I was Vista, right? And it got delayed and so on. And somebody, and I think it must have been a Microsoft employee because the amount of knowledge was very deep, but they wrote a blog saying, Vista 2007, fire the leadership now. And I watched that blog over the next few days. It got 500 comments, and most of them, I think, were from Microsoft employees because it was really deep analysis. Like, we got the wrong person in this job, or these two teams are not effectively coordinating, or they changed something in the specs, and that put us back by... And I looked through those 500 entries, read them all, and it was the most sophisticated, thoughtful diagnosis of an organizational problem I've ever seen anywhere. And what was really kind of sad about it, about every third comment was, I hope they're listening. Right? Why aren't we having this debate internally? And what you're saying is you can bring that debate inside, and there are going to be huge competitive advantages when you can exploit that imagination, that wisdom, and the passion people have for their companies.
Yeah, and I look at being able, I think the real potential behind this is just simply listening and learning. What if you could make every single employee listen to what the voice of the customer has? How much more effective could they do their job if they could just understand how their work impacts the customer? So they're going to all have different points of view, so we're all going to look at things in a different way, but give them those tools. And you know what those tools are? Search on Twitter, search on Facebook, search on Google. You can see the conversations happening today. Give them that training, give them that little bit of power to be able to bring relevance back. Listen to each other so you can self-diagnose and solve those problems instead of having to go up the chain and then back down the chain again. The speed and effectiveness of being able to do that is tremendous. And we all have the ability to, we're all empowered to some degree within our own little sandboxes to make these changes. The productivity gains from just aligning people with customers better is tremendous. Unbelievable.